Hello everyone and welcome back. So today we are going to discuss about business builder overview. So what are the different components of business builder and how it is different from data builder or data layer. Okay. So there are a couple of points about business builder. So business builder in SAP Datasphere is a tool that allow you to model your organizational data in business terms. It's designed to make business users more independent from IT by providing an easy to understand structure for creating business entities and relationships. So when we talk about data layer, it is like whenever we have a transaction data, it might contain all the business related informations. But when we do any kind of a analysis based on business requirement, we may not need all the data all the time. So that is why the SAP Datasphere has this business builder, so that you can create your facts, dimensions, and models specific to a particular business scenario or specific to a particular business reporting. And similarly, you can also reuse those models and facts for your other related business analysis purposes. Okay, so we will see in details in the later slides. So in practice, the business builder helps to hide the data complexity through business language and terminology, providing service modeling for lines of business. So as we know that all kind of scripting coding, so majority of the part will be done in the data layer. So within the data layer, we will be doing all kind of ETL processes, and which will be done mostly by the IT team. But business builder can be used either by the IT team, or it can be also treated as a self-service tool where business analyst can use the um, existing data builder objects to build their facts and dimensions and the models. So it builds a stable semantic layer for all your consumers. When needed, it flexibly changes the underlying data layer, that is change in storage technology, without disrupting your consumers. This separation enables business users to model their business scenario without knowing the underlying data models. So let's suppose there is a change in the backend. So let's suppose we were using SAP ERP as our ERP tool, and later on we also have some ERP or business related data in other system. So due to that, there will be a need in the change to feed the data to our tables in the data builder. So whatever changes will be done, it's very easy to just map it to the existing business builder objects. So there won't be any impact. So just think from this perspective that we have our data builder layer, and on top of that we have our business builder layer, and we are using business builder objects for our analytics and data consumption purposes. So whatever changes are related to the underlying data, it will not impact our business builder objects. Okay, so this separation enables business users to model their business scenario without knowing the underlying data model. So business users do not need to know about how the data or from where the data is coming. Some key features of business builder. So business modeling. It enables business users to create data models in SAP Datasphere based on a semantic view of organizational data. Then we have collaboration. So it allows business users to collaborate and create data models. Independence. Once all the data is set up and made available by IT in the SAP Datasphere, basically in Data Builder, it's easy to give permission to the right people, enabling you to get your data ready to provide business insights. And we have business layer. So the business builder is used for modeling the object of the business layer. Business users can define business models in the business builder, models that are separate from the physical data layer. So whatever model or whatever facts and dimensions we will define in our business builder, it will not contain any physical data. It will always take the data from the data builder. And then we have a top down approach. So they create their models top down and map them to the data layer. Okay, then consume data from the data builder in business entities. So you can create business entity by selecting a data builder entity as its source. You can remove unneeded measures and attributes to simplify your business entity for a particular reporting need. So maybe your data entity has 50 plus fields, but all those fields are not required for a specific business reporting. So you can tweak that and you can create your business entity accordingly. You can enrich your business entity with new measures. So you can also create or derive measures while creating a business builder objects. So, and you can also add attributes and other properties. You can change the data source of your business entity to the new business builder entity if necessary. So underlying data source can also be changed. Now we can combine business entities in fact models and consumption models. So once we are done with creation of business entity, which is nothing but a dimension and a fact, we can now create a fact model and consumption models. So it combines your business entity into star schema to prepare them for consumption. You can use a single business entity in multiple consumption models and modify it by adding or removing measures and attributes as appropriate for a particular reporting context. You can optionally combine your business entity in a intermediate fact model and then use this as a source for multiple consumptions. So the question may arise that what is the difference between fact model and consumption model? So basically, once we are done with creation of a dimension and a fact in business builder, you can directly create a consumption model where you can which you can use for data consumption or analytical purposes in SAP Analytics Cloud and all. But you also have an option to create an intermediate model kind of fact. So for example, your consumption model is specific to one business reporting, but you can also create a fact model, and this fact model can be used in multiple consumption models. So for example, you have multiple fact models you created in between, and this can be reused in multiple consumption models using multiple scenarios, so that your end user will be using your consumption models, but fact model will be the intermediate one. So we will see that how we can reuse it is kind of a we can say, as in BW we have harmonization layer line, so that it provides us flexibility for the changes. So let's suppose if you create a one factor model and use that fact model in 10 consumption models. Now if there is a change required in the model, so if you will not use fact model, you need to change all 10 consumption models. But if those respective changes can be achieved by just changing in the fact model, then it will be advantage for us. So that is one example. There are a couple of advantages when we follow the best practices. Then we can expose data in perspectives. So create perspectives from consumption model for exposure to SAP Analytics Cloud and other BI clients like MS Excel and other apps and tools. We can also import BW for HANA queries. So we can import a BW for HANA query along with its supporting objects and composite providers to SAP Datasphere. There might be some kind of a limitation which SAP is still working on and is improving on. So maybe once we import the query, some objects or some kind of a variable is still not supported, but maybe in future release, SAP might add those objects as well. So this is now very simple example to demonstrate how we can create an end-to-end data flow in our business builder. So first we create, so the IT people or the data scientists or the data engineers working in SAP Datasphere will be creating the objects in the data layer, like tables. It can be dimension table, text table, hierarchies, and all the stuffs. They will be fetching from the respective sources, and they will be creating the tables. They might also be creating views based on combination of multiple tables. So these two stuffs we will be creating in data layer. There are other objects as well to update the data, like data flow and all, but these are the two which will be used to create the business entities. So this is mostly used by the IT people to design a data pipeline from multiple sources to SAP Datasphere. So data will come from multiple sources to the data layer of your SAP Datasphere. Now once this is done, this can also be used for analytical purposes. This can also be used to send the data to other systems. So that those stuff can also be done. But additionally, SAP Datasphere or SAP provides a business entity. Now this business entity can be directly used by the business analyst or the business users, or can also be IT person can also help business analysts to define or create this stuff. So what will happen, the data engineer or the owner of the data will provide a specific access of the data or share the specific tables or the data to the business analyst or the business user. Now business user will use that table and views to create the dimensions. So let's suppose it's a sales order related information, so we have dimension 1 as a product. Then this dimension will have all the product details. So product dimension table will be mapped to dimension, product dimension. Then we have dimension 2, let's suppose it is address, or maybe a business partner. So business partner master data table or dimension table will be uh, used for creating dimension 2, and so on, whichever has a master data in table associated to it. So let's suppose we have four dimensions, so four dimension tables will be here, and those will be used for creating all these four dimensions. Now we will be creating a fact. So dimension is a kind of a master data. It contains a master data which changes over a period of time, not very frequently. So let's suppose a business partner is there. So every information about that business partner, what is the company name, what is the location of the company, what is the phone number, bank account number, and so on. So that is an example of a master data. Now facts contains the transaction data, that is all the business transactions happening day by day or every second. So those will be mapped to fact. Now we will have fact table or a view in our data layer. So those tables can be used to create our fact, like sales order details, like gross revenue or net revenue or the tax information. So based on the business needs, maybe if you have multiple tables, and or how you design your fact, so you can fetch those transaction related information here. So this is how you can create a dimension and a fact. So this will be the base of your business entity. One important information here is it is not like a flat table, it's a multi-dimensional stuff. So when you create a dimension one, it's a dimension one is created, it can be reused again and again. So you can simply use this dimension one in multiple fact models. So it is not like in a table, whenever we create an attribute, it is only specific to that table. It's a kind of a flat table. But in business entity, it is more of like a info object in SAP BW that we have. So it can be used in multiple fact models or consumption models. So once we are done with our dimension and fact creation, then we will create a fact model, or we can directly create a consumption model. But for the best practices, if our design is a bit complex and it may receive some changes in future, then it's better to go with a fact model as an intermediate model, and then consumption model as our final model. So we will use, once we create a fact, we can use like how we want to relate our fact 1 to 3. So there will be option to join or relate your fact 1 with fact 2, fact 2 with fact 3. So that kind of a joining or a relation you can create within the fact, and then you can add the related dimensions and the attributes from here. So let's suppose your dimension 1 has uh, 15 attributes, but in the fact model you only want to use 5 attributes. So you can select your attributes based on your needs. And once this fact 1 and fact 2 is created, then you can use these two facts in your consumption model to create your final model. And this consumption model will can be used for uh, analytical purposes, or maybe sending the data out of SAP Datasphere. So this is quite simple, and this is the reason why we have two different layers, data layer and business layer in SAP Datasphere. Hope this clarifies the need of or the difference between the data layer and the business layer. We will just see how the data builder, sorry, how the business builder looks like, and what are the components available in the business builder. Okay, so now we are in the business builder screen, and here we have multiple objects that can be created. So if we talk about business entities, so there are two types of business entities: dimensions and facts. Dimension contains the master data of any particular dimension, for example, product details, or vendor information. So anything related to which tells you. So what is dimension? Dimension is something during the data analysis which tells you what or when, why this happened. So such kind of answers it provides, such kind of insights. Fact is something which provides you the numbers, the aggregations, like the total revenue, total income, net income. So, but this fact also includes the dimensions as well. But it should have at least one measure. Okay, so that is the definition of the fact. Then we have fact model that we have already discussed. It will be a combination. It will be a combination of business entities based on your need, how you want to use your fact and the dimensions. Then we have consumption models and perspective. So once you create a consumption model, you can create perspective out of it, and then you can use that data for analytical purposes. And then finally you have authorization scenario. So using an authorization scenario, you can restrict the data for your business users. So we will see that how we can create a authorization scenario as well. And here at the below screen, we have couple of options. So from here also we can create a dimension fact, fact model, consumption model, and authorization scenario, which is same as these options. There is nothing different. Either you create from this panel or you can create from this panel. Then you can also create a new folder. So how you want to arrange your objects. So maybe you want to create different folders for different business reportings. Then we have import option. So here you can see you can transfer your BW for HANA queries using this. So model transfer wizard. So you can do a model transfer wizard, and you can also see the logs once the transfer is done or any failure happens. Then you also have a content network import log. So there is an option like SAP provides some content. So within the content network, you will be able to have standard content for SAP Datasphere. You also have some third party contents which are shared in the content network. So once you import those content, then you can use this to see the logs, like what content I have imported already. So that is the reason that we have this. Then these are like other options like changing or refreshing. So these are the all components of our business builder. So in the next session, we will start with creating a dimension, and we'll see all the features and all the functions that we have in the dimension. Hope this clarifies your understanding about business builder and how it is different from data builder. So difference between a business layer and a data layer. So data layer, mostly IT people, data scientists, data engineers will be dealing with the business builder part, sorry, and the data builder part. And business builder will be mostly used by the business users or business analysts. Sometimes IT people may also need to involve in case some complexity or some kind of help needed from the IT person. But these are, as per SAP, it is said to be a self-service component of SAP Datasphere. So this is all about business builder in SAP Datasphere. Hope you like the content. If yes, please hit the subscribe button if you haven't done it yet. Hit the bell icon in case you want to receive notifications about the latest uploads. So we will be discussing about how to create a dimension and its features in the upcoming video. Till then, stay tuned and have a nice day. Bye bye.